2023. In case you didn't know, you are tuned into Black Power Media. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host. We got no other than Kalonji Jama Junga. And burn it down, Kim Brown.
What up? 2023 in the building. You know what we do around here. Remix.
Happy New Year! Feliz Nuevo Año! A todo mi gente.
Word
I
up.
see.
Shout out.
Afro-Latinos up here. We need some Afro-Latinos up here that can actually speak the Dun language, because we've been struggling sometimes.
Need the Dun language.
The Dun language, because we don't speak the Spanish no good around here.
Africa's in the house. Get petrified. What's
right.
happening?
Good?
Yeah. It's a good day. It's revolution. What's happening?
Hey! I was watching yesterday, Kalonji, the Gorilla Intellectual University. It was dope. It was very good.
That. We freestyled that. It's going to be a lot better. Definitely shout out to Dr. Jared Ball, and I'm on there with doctors.
Learning doctors, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Jared Ball, Dr. Janine Jones, she'll be joining us, and Dr. Joy James. So we're going to be doing this. It's going to be Kalonji and the doctors, all Dr. J's. You know what I mean?
So Ear Doctor's going to join you. Is that what
you said? J's, not the E.
Yeah, Ear Doctor's not the J. Come on, stop it. Anyway. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show. We got a whole lot coming up this week too, man. Riot Starter is won't be Riot Starter anymore. We're gonna be doing a new unveiling starting Friday, so watch out for that. We'll be talking about Dr. Mutulu Shakur. Probably have a surprise guest or something, because you know what we do at Black Power Media. So if you miss what we do, you'll be missing out. Ain't that right, folks?
That's right. Hey man, y'all look nice, good, and refreshed. Y'all had a nice break and everything.
I'm on break still. My live show's on break till next week. So my break starts this week. I mean, I did a show Friday, so
okay.
What about you, Ear Doctor? Where was you spending at for this New Year's Eve?
Oh man, I went to Sea Islands. That's like Simon Islands out on the coast, and did a New Year's party. I've been doing for the last 8 years out there. So yeah, it was pretty. It was something, because they had the whole Georgia Ohio State football game. So it ended at 12 o'clock, and it was a game for like 1 point. Georgia won, and I wound up playing "We Are the Champions" as the last song, to bring in the new year. So it was pretty dope, the whole how I rolled out. But,
was this the joint at Herschel Walker House?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, was this white folks or was this black people?
Yes. Oh no, this was definitely. This is where like the Coister. This is where like Illuminati and all them be having parties and stuff.
Okay.
So white folks? I'm confused. So who?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It not to be confusing me. I mean, one day
hey,
with the white folks, Illuminati. Welcome back to the remix.
Exactly. And then and I also went to a whole Kwanzaa celebration. So that was real dope. The dope thing about the Kwanzaa celebration is everybody sat around and pretty much networked. It was a networking thing, and people pretty much they was talking about the show too. They was like Black Power Media. They said Remix Morning Show is dope. So it was good. We out there in the streets, y'all. These Kwanzaa streets. Let them know. Okay.
Ear Doctor said I went from Illuminati to Karanga.
That's right. You ain't have to say correct. You dirty bastard.
I know. I'm sorry. I had to get it out there.
And speaking of that, Karanga was in the room, but it was other people in there that put Kwanzaa together. So we can't dismiss the other people that helped to put Kwanzaa together.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Just give me credit where credit.
He just got the credit. That's all.
Shout out to Sundiata Chajua, who if you actually missed his show right here on Black Power Media, he actually interviewed Maulana Karanga and asked them some very some questions that people usually have. So that's in the archives. You can check that out. And I'm not bombing on you people because I know some of y'all are like, why y'all talk about my man? I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just stating facts. That's how we do around here. It's the Remix Morning Show. Wake your ass up. That's how they say it, right?
That's
Word.
right. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
We out
Okay.
here, man. It's about to go on 2 years. 2 years right here on Black Power Media. What we talk about? February? It'll be 2 years?
I
February
can't believe it.
17th, the birthday of UEP Newton, we will commemorate our 2-year anniversary of Black Power Media. And I have to say that I am not impressed because we can do better and we will do better. We got to get the people what they coming here for. And I'm only saying that, I'm not saying it like being negative. I'm just saying like we have some talent here. We have some real dope archives. The chat is on fire, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lovely thing. But definitely dealing in the red, we have to shout out some of the losses over this past week or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The great Pele, you know what I'm saying? Pele became an ancestor. Anita Pointer from the Pointer Sister became an ancestor. Cannot forget.
Gangsta Boo is the big one that really is still bothering me and hurting me this morning. Gangsta Boo, dead at the age of 43.
Yes. Walida Jamal, Mumi Abu Jamal's wife of 43 years. She made her transition. Our guy Delani Amani, if you all caught the show yesterday, Delani Amani was the first brother to give me a radio show back in 2006. It was called FTP Power Hour. He was a pioneer of internet radio. His station was Harambe Radio, and he had all types of hosts on there, including which I recently found out, Dr. Jared Ball. So I have to say that the inspiration from Black Power Media, keeping it 100, actually came from that work on Harambe, because back in the day he was doing that internet radio. It wasn't what we're doing, but you know, I mean, it was heavy. We had I interviewed everyone from Raz Kaz to Sam Greenlee, Spook Sat by the Door, and there's so many other joints in that particular archive and arsenal that I literally forgot. So definitely shout out to Delani Aman. You know, he's someone that actually assisted in putting us on the map as far as you know, indirectly. So salute to him.
Dope. Hey, we all done radio. Let me ask you real quick, Kim, what was your best interview? Your favorite interview you done with radio? Okay, don't think so hard. I would have to say my favorite one was a speech from Arrested Development. Due to the fact that we did the whole "Take Me to Another Place," we sung the whole verse in the song. That was real dope. That was the funnest part.
Yeah, I don't know who mine would be. Because honestly, crazy enough, I have forgotten that I actually did some interviews. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, I was digging up some things recently, and I saw that I interviewed Daruba and Kamau in 2010. I do not remember ever interviewing Kamau at all, but apparently I did. I literally, on everything, if someone would have put a gun to my head and say, "When did you interview Kamau?" I'd have been like, "I ain't never interviewed that nook." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I've forgotten more than, to be honest with you. But I've been grateful for some interviews, but I just don't remember them all.
I had an interview that nobody's ever seen, and I'm still trying to find it in my archives myself. But I interviewed one of my favorite interviews. I interviewed Ninth Wonder, and we had a real good discussion about music. This was years ago at a Congressional Black Caucus, and I got him, off to the side, and we had a really, really good conversation. I remember one thing that he said that still sticks with me. He said that, Wu-Tang is Generation X's Parliament Funkadelic, right? That's our P-Funk. And I remember in the middle of the interview, I slapped him 5. I was like, yeah, yes, Wu-Tang. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's been a lot of different people that I've talked to. It's kind of hard to keep them straight.
Jay-Z? Leia Boggs says she watched Kim's interview with Jay-Z. Let me find out. I ain't even know.
Yeah, it's on my channel right now, but watch it now if you're not a member, because I'm about to put it behind the members only wall. So if you want to see it, I would watch it immediately.
You better get it now.
soon as I get into that YouTube studio, the back end is about to be a members only. But see, that wasn't one of my favorites per se. That's probably one of the most notable, you know, the one of the biggest gets. But I wouldn't say it was my favorite though.
I think my most disappointing interview for me, and I hate to go there because his brother's an ancestor, but I think the Sam Greenlee interview, the spook was set by the door, because when I interviewed him, it was like, I don't know if he didn't, everything was defensive on the political side. Well, you know, it ain't all about such. And I never said any of that shit. So it's just like, I'm just like, what do you talk about? That's not what I asked you. But I think that, you know, some folks, when I'm behind the mic doing this thing, they can't differentiate the politics. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, stay focused on what we're doing right here. Don't worry about, you know, okay, you just saw a dude dangling from the roof. We got all that. That's, you know, that's something else. But right here, I'm just joking about that. but yeah, I was like, damn, like, you know, what happened? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you listening to to the questions?
Yeah, he knew who he was going to go talk to. He was like, oh, he gonna ask me this. He was ready to counter.
And a lot of people do come with that mindset, and I try to bring them the opposite, just to, you know, because you can pretty much tell, you know, folks think that you're gonna come for them and all that type of stuff.
Stop the blood clot crying.
When Kalanji was on my show, Kalanji thought I was gonna come at him sideways. You can admit it. It's okay. You can admit it. You can admit it because you had the bruv sizing you up, talking about, oh, she probably going to blah blah blah.
It was actually the sisters. The brothers was.
Oh, come on, y'all cut it out.
The brothers like, get up. I was like, yo. I said, nah. So I just came up. I'm just like, you know, to me, I really, to be honest with you, I didn't think he was gonna come at me no kind of way.
God, why would I? For what? Right. That ain't me. Like, I come at you right now. I ain't got to invite you on my show.
I already know. So that was my thing. That was my thing. But I was ready for your ass, though. If you did things, boy. You did, boy. I had shit in the archive. I'm like, yeah, you got a third grade picture. You go like, yeah, I caught her digging in the nose right here. Yeah, we got all that. You with the white dude back in the day, anything. It was coming out. I was ready. But we cool now, so I ain't gonna say anything. Boom, boom.
Stop slicing that shit.
Your doctor know. He was sending me the joint. Yo, did you get this part? I said, yo, good looking, my man. That's how ear doctor I got back cool. Boom. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Remix Morning Show. Welcome to Remix Morning Show where anybody can get it.
Out here licking shots to start off 2023. Licking shots. Blow.
Well,
what we got here?
No, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Unless you have something else to say, and then we're gonna come back and give y'all some news and all that. So thank y'all for staying with us to 2023 and the years to come. Please remember, right here, Black Power Media, we got y'all. Remix Morning Show. Let's take a break. Okay. Welcome out, everybody, to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. If you don't know, now you know. You better ask somebody, baby. Anyway, let's go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button if you haven't already. We have patreon.com. You drop some change in the bucket. We just put some new Patreon stuff up there for our members. So please go ahead and check that out. And make sure y'all check out all the shows. And make sure y'all check out all the host shows everywhere, because this is all a collaborative effort that we came to do for you and yours. So stick with us. With that said, let's go ahead and get to some weather. All right, man, we done flipped. We done went from cold last week to this week, beautiful. We talking about starting off in the ATL. Today's high in Atlanta is 70 degrees. That's right, 70 degrees, a little bit of rain and stuff, but it's still nice and warm. Next, let's take it over to my people up in B-More, Baltimore, the whole DMV area. I heard Kim use Sison, one of them DC slang words. Baltimore got a high today of 64 degrees. Next, let's take it to BK, big up to NY. Brooklyn, they got a high today of 53 degrees. Next, let's skate over to the Midwest, to Chicago. They got a high of 47 degrees. Still a little cold out there. You know, Chicago will take its time to get warm. Now let's go over to H-Town down in the dirty South, Texas. They got a high today of 74 degrees. And next, let's take it to the west side over to the Yay area, Bay Area, Oakland. They got a high today of 54 degrees. Now that's kind of cold over there. That's a little chilly over there for the Bay, but it is right off the water. But I'll tell you what's cold. Last week was colder than the white man. Speaking of colder than the white man, did y'all hear about Skip Bayless? That's right, Skip Bayless, the coldest of the white man. Yesterday there was a game. It was what was it? It was Buffalo against the Bengals, and this brother right here, Hamlin, Darwin. What did I say his name? Let me get his name right. His name is Darlin Hammond, if I got that right. But he pretty much got bust in the chest and I had a cardiac arrest after he got hit in the chest, and they had to stop the game. And your boy Skip was like, "What? What are you talking about stopping the game?" So they stopped the game. It's canceled. He's like, "Yo, this late in the season, the game of this magnitude is critical to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." Oh my goodness. And everybody got on Skip. They was like, "Yo, how can you be like this?" Skip is like, "Yo, this is gladiator ball. People get hit every day, B," just like Cameron said. So that's what it is. That's colder than the white man for Skip Bayless. If y'all don't know, now you know. Now let me take you back to the Remix Morning Show. Here we go. All right.
I didn't know that's what Skip Bayless said. I saw him trending, but I wasn't aware of his comments. And yeah, that is colder than the white man. I mean, this young man collapsed on the field. He suffered cardiac arrest. They had to bring the ambulance out on the field to get him off. He's still, I believe, listed in intensive care this morning. I don't even think he's conscious. Mm-hmm. And he talking about the game. The game?
That's not that. I got one correction. That's not colder than the white man. That is the white man.
Ooh.
We gotta be clear on that. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not give him, let's not give him all his due.
Yeah.
Don't skip over Skip. Yeah. The thing is, first of all, again, it takes it back to the fact that NFL is a plantation. We've been talking about that for years. We've been talking about the injuries and the brain damage and all the suffering that is taking place. And like the Neanderthal told I forgot which ball player it was. I don't know if it was LeBron or whoever, when she said "shut up and dribble." That's what they in the mortal words of Ice Cube. Here's what they think of you. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's all about. So we're not surprised. When this happens, we're like, how can you be so cruel? Have you checked their track record? Claude, have mercy. How easily we forget. But it's a plantation. We know that. And, we our prayers and heart goes out to this 24-year-old man. I watched the footage and I saw that, clearly oxygen was cut off to his brain. And they say he suffered cardiac arrest. That's a horrible thing, because actually, I mean, he hit the other player, but I believe I guess he was hit as well once they collided. Yeah. So
man. Yeah. Hey, it's a gladiator sport. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, actually.
Well, it's
so barbaric. Like, can we talk about the barbarism of American football and how, especially compared to what we just saw in the World Cup? Soccer, known as the beautiful game. I don't think we can call American football, a beautiful game. It's brutal. It's very hard, or as Kalanji said, on the brain and of the bodies of the players. They're chattel out there for all intents and purposes, and they are expected to sacrifice limb and hope not, in this case, hope not life, for the advancement of this sport. So no, I mean, football needs to be abolished, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's a very horrific thing, not only for the players but for the communities. Like, people get displaced for building football stadiums. All these billionaires use these taxpayer dollars to subsidize these gladiator stadiums, usually to the detriment of the community. The little pitty-pat hourly wage jobs that they offer the community are not living or thriving wages. Like, for what does football do besides benefit the billionaires, really?
You know, I love football as far as playing. I haven't watched NFL football literally since the days of Tony Dorsett. And shout out to
Damn.
rising power to Franco Harris, who just made his
Another
transition.
one, right?
But yeah, I mean, my thing is, you know, it's an overpaid situation, and once I learned how that plantation worked, I had to leave it alone. So you know, I've been to some college games. I have nephews that play, you know, but you know, and the last time I played, and I was telling Jared this on the show the other day, I think the last time I actually played tackle football was about 8-9 years ago. You know what I mean? And you know, they was trying to give me the business.
Wait.
I still want to get back out there, but last time they was proving, they like, yeah, we can't get you on the mic. We can't just run up on you. But we're gonna light your ass up on the field.
Wait a minute, ain't you like 60 and you better pay 9 years ago?
Cat said 60, man. Listen, man. Listen.
Y'all was out there with the leather helmets. What are you talking about?
Wow. I know this dude ain't talking. I know he ain't talking.
And that's your weather report for the day. I catch you on this break, man.
You know I'm gonna get you. Anyway, welcome to the Remix Morning Show. Ear Doctor always trying to be facetious because of the fact that he was the kickball all-star champion with Morris Brown. You know what I'm saying? MVP, but it's all good. We still doing it. Anyway, let's we got some news on the run sheet and whatnot.
Slap that map, Shaw.
Slap it back.
The Remix Morning Show. Oh my goodness, the first Remix Morning Show of the new year. Happy 2023 to all of our remixers and everybody that has been rocking with the channel really since day one. We appreciate y'all. There's a lot of names in this chat that we see on a very regular basis, and I have to say our eternal thanks and gratitude for the support, for the engagement, for coming in and mixing it up in the chat, for getting in the comments, for popping up on all the lives. Remixers, BPMers, you are the greatest ends and non-ends out here. y'all are the ones. So thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. It's another Remix Morning Show. Kalanji Changa, I'm Kim Brown. Ear Doctor, pushing the buttons in the back. Peace, Kalanji. I'm so happy to see you. I feel like I have not been on with you in some time. So
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's good to see you, bro.
You know, towards the end of the year, I gotta scale back and get ready for the next semester, next quarter, and all that. So we good. Definitely good to see you as well.
Did you have a birthday recently? Aren't you a Sagittarius?
I'm definitely a Sagittarius. December 5th was my born date, and I'm still here, still rumbling.
Happy belated.
Thank you. You know, but yeah, you know, and definitely shout out to the remixes. It's always good to meet you all in the street. I realized something too. Y'all a lot tougher in the chat than some of y'all in the streets. So. cut out the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you such and such? Oh yeah, how you doing? Oh, brother, I didn't know your voice was so deep. But anyway, welcome to the Remix Morning Show.
You the only street dude on YouTube, sir. I mean, man, you and Willie D.
Wow. Put me up there with Willie D. Williams.
Y'all the only real street dudes on YouTube. Everybody else is, I don't know, they YouTubers.
I'm retired. I'm all about peace and love. Incense
until somebody come out their mouth sideways, and then it's smacking season
again.
Smacking season
again. I'm not smacking I'm not smacking folks no more. I got you know, I got a couple generations under me. They doing the slapping for me now. They're like,
good.
Did you already say it? What you say? That type thing. So
yeah, we train some slappers, some junior slappers. I love that.
Come from generations of slappers. But anyway, but definitely you know, good to be here. And like you said, you know, shout out to all the different folks out here that's been supporting what we're doing. Definitely shout out to a good sister, where they do that at. You know what I'm saying? Doing that workout in St. Louis, Missouri, on behalf of Kevin Johnson and others. So definitely, we appreciate you all. Appreciate that work. We definitely want to hit some news because there's a few things that's going on, and we do have a guest at the top of the hour. But I wanted to. There's a story that's been making its rounds slowly but surely about this young brother up in Ohio, and I'm sure you know about that story, Kim.
In Columbus,
Ohio. Yes. It's sad on so many levels, but for one, it's like I don't know. Would you like to get it started, Kim? I mean, I know you.
Well, to be honest, like I am only sparsely familiar with the details. So if you have a piece ready to rock and roll,
Yes.
please inform us because I really don't know. But this is not a recent story, right? It's just been updated.
Yeah. So it goes back to October, and there's been so many different murders and assaults and so on and so forth that it's hard to keep up, and in many cases people aren't reporting certain things. I don't know, because it's not fashionable or whatever, but this case here involved a 13-year-old a 13-year-old child, let's just say that, right? So you had this white boy who decides that he's going to take upon himself to shoot this 13-year-old. He shot him 5 times, including in the back and his arm, so on and so forth. He was 36 years old, the shooter. And, he said, he was arrested, and he claimed that that he did it out of self-defense because he was in fear of his life. Of course, the young child, Sensei Reed, he's unarmed, of course, as usual. And he gunned him down and drove away, shot him down in broad daylight. And the prosecutors dropped the charges because they said when they talked to this guy, Krieg or whatever the hell his name is, that he said he feared for his life. He felt his life was in danger from this 13-year-old boy. I want to pull his picture up. That's what I was kind of doing right now. I need folks to see what this child looks like because,
he looks like a kid. He doesn't have any hair on his face. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a kid. He looks 13 or 12 or 11. Like he could be.
Yeah. I mean, this is a hard story because I actually have a 13-year-old, and just seeing, you see this, this Neanderthal, and you see this child, and for the state to say that they felt like, I'm sorry, I thought I pulled a picture up. I'm looking at the wrong thing. For the state to say that they didn't find any wrongdoing just yet, and that they will continue to investigate, but they dropped the charges is really weird. I mean, it's like I couldn't imagine that happening. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. Forgive me for this technology. I know y'all like, what the hell is going on over there? But anyway,
is there a package accompanying this page that you're on? Do they have like a story about it? Because the local news is still the local news.
Yeah, it's kind of freezing up a little bit, so that's the problem over here. So maybe we could pull it up in a little while. But anyway, just making a long story shorter, this young man has been, this boy, again, he was murdered, and these charges have been dismissed, and we're sitting around looking hopeless as usual because they murder us with impunity, and we sit here and it's business as usual, and it's just so disgusting. I mean, the look on this dude's mugshot.
Yeah.
I mean,
but how many children have been murdered by white folks? I mean, across the country, everywhere. But Ohio seems to have, a recent pattern of this. Tamir Rice murdered in Ohio, even though John Crawford II wasn't a teen. He was still a young man in his early 20s, shot down in the Walmart by the police.
Yes.
It,
His
I'm
brother,
hoping,
sister.
Kalanji, I'm trying to be optimistic here. I mean, I have no faith in the system at all, but there's no statute of limitations on murder. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
Right.
if they so chose, they could bring these charges against this person again. But I'm curious as to what the reason prosecutors gave for dropping or dismissing the charges in the first place. Like I'm just, the child has bullets in his back. I'm
They
sorry,
said it was
self
standard.
defense where?
Yeah,
Hmm?
they said it was standard. They said, this is standard procedure. I just don't believe that if Craig Butler would have been black and Sensei Reed was a little white boy, that those charges would have been dropped. And like you said, Ohio is, I mean, historically, over the past couple decades at least, there's been all types of different acts of violence on black people. You mentioned the situation with Crawford out at the Walmart, Tamir Rice. You got the situation with the young lady in Lima, Ohio,
Oh
with
my
her
gosh.
1-year-old child who got his finger blown off.
And then
In
and then
Cruiserville.
the 16, what's her name? What was her name, Chad? Micaiah, the
Yes,
16-year-old who
yes,
was
yes.
shot dead by police outside of her
Hmm.
house.
Yeah,
Also, oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. I mean, and
This
it's
is
so
standard
many more.
operating procedure. This is standing operating procedure in
Right,
Ohio.
right. So I don't know, man. It's like there has to be more community control. There has to be community control on different levels. I looked at some footage I saw somewhere else, and I saw the organizers in that particular community, and the one thing that dawned on me, you have folks who become instant organizers, and I'm not saying that that's what these people are, but just listening to what they had to say and their arguments, it was like you can tell that they were novice, right? They were it wasn't their thing, but it's like folks instantaneously become organizers. We have to be able to connect with more experienced organizers and folks who have track records, not just camera chasers, because this is why all of this stuff keeps slipping through the holes, because of the fact that you get a bunch of folks that come along and they just like, same slogans: no justice, no peace. There's been no damn justice since we've been here, and the damn sure ain't gonna be no peace with us. So it's like, the empty sloganeering and all that type of stuff, it means nothing. So it has to take organized efforts for anyone to look at this picture right here on the screen and not see the hate. This is America right here. When you look at Butler and you look at this young boy Reed, I mean, this is like, in any situation, even if he didn't shoot him, even if he put his hands on him, it's an unfair situation. As you can see, like you said, this he's clearly a child. What were you afraid of? You were afraid of him procreating at some point. You were afraid that he would have children. Was that it? I mean, this is it's sickening, but it's a reminder as to where we are. So I just wanted to point that out. We're going to keep you all updated. I know that members of our organization are reaching out to the family, and to see what it is, if anything, that us and other organizers can do to support their efforts. I know that your friend, what's his name, Bagel Head, the attorney, who's everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Oh, Crump, is he
Yeah,
on this?
well, he tweeted about it, so
Oh, he
he's
about to be on it
he's
then.
about to stick his fangs into it. That's how it go. Stick his talons into the piece, and hopefully, I don't know, man. This
I
is like,
mean, it's it's just a reminder, that in recent times, for white people to be held accountable in the criminal justice system for killing black people is a recent phenomenon, right? Like that's not been the case for the majority of American history. White people have been allowed to kill black people without impunity, with impunity, I should say. And this is another reminder of that. If you think that because we're in the 21st century now, or it's 2023 now, that is not going to still remain an aspect to being black in this country that white person can take quote unquote vigilante justice or whatever the fuck against you, and then the police pursue them, with full criminal charges. That is not a guarantee, and it's still an anomaly when that happens in the system.
Right, absolutely. I mean, because like you said, it's how this it's how it has been our relationship, and there's no love for us, and it's sickening because I mean on so many levels, because to a great extent I can see why people feel hopeless. I can see why people don't get involved in certain things, but it's our lack of involvement that will, that keep this train running. You know what I mean? Until we can put a, stop this wheel from grinding, stop this beast from eating us alive, then it would be, it'd be the same song, different day. Now there is a situation, another story I found in Louisiana. Some cops were charged out there. One cop was charged with killing 2 teens because he was actually chasing. He got involved in the chase.
Was he charged? The cop was charged, or the person that the police were pursuing were charged?
The cop was charged, and the person, of course, that he's pursuing was charged. But I'm going to show you why he was charged. See,
I know why he was charged. I mean, I know why. I assume the reason that he would be charged, but I didn't know. Okay, now you breaking news here. I didn't realize that the police got charged, but we know why he got charged, because he killed white people.
Voila.
So do you have a story?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Right now. Okay. So this particular officer, he decided to join a chase that he wasn't involved in. It was a 24-year-old brother who was accused of stealing his father's car.
Come on.
It was a police chase. This cop sees what's going on. He sees the car is going by, so he decides to join in on the chase, and he starts running these red lights, so on and so forth, and he ends up hitting his car, killing these two teen girls, this 11th grader, 10th grader, and I believe their brothers in critical condition of something of that sort. This particular officer right here, Addis police officer David Cawthorn, charged with 2 counts of negligent homicide and 1 count of negligent injury. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't even involved in the situation. It's just like, I'm gung ho. They're chasing the nigger, and I'm gonna go get him. So he got down with it, lost his mind, start running these red lights, and end up smashing all over a car chase where you're talking about this young man stole his father's car. Okay. So the boy, not even the boy, excuse me, the young man who allegedly stole the car, who led them on a chase, he's actually charged with breaking into his father's home, auto theft, and of course he's getting charged with homicide as well because of the chase. So we'll keep you all posted on this thing right here. But again, this is just that whole attitude of I am the law.
Well, there's that, but also the farce presentation of what police are. That police are the upholders of public safety. No, police are the threat to public safety, right? They are the crime wave, because you had allegedly this property crime that this 24-year-old person, or the accused car thief is accused of doing, and now here come this cop killed 2 people as a result of a property crime. Like, come on now. Like, the ends do not justify the means. And there's so many instances like that. That was not exactly like this, but I kind of look at what happened to Rayshard Brooks in a similar way, because the police were so intent to quote unquote get him, right? They had his car, they had his ID, they knew who he was, they knew where he lived. He goes to run. Why didn't they just let him run? You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to shoot him in the back for what?
And they actually spoke to him. I mean, I'm looking at the tape. It was like over 30 minutes they had a convo with Rayshard Brooks, and they decide, okay, we're going to take you to jail. So like any civilized person, You know, no one wants to go. I mean, I don't know if you all have been to jail before, but it's not just like you want to, you know, it's like, it's almost like the cops befriended him. It's like, okay, everything's cool. You know, it's been 30 minutes. He's not thinking he's going to jail. He's like, okay, I'm going to sober up or whatever, because he fell asleep in the drive-through of a Wendy's. The sad thing about it is we keep calling these people.
Thank you.
To help us. I mean, I don't know what harm. I mean, maybe he was holding the line up. Now, I don't condone drinking and driving. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. But he's in the damn drive-thru.
And he's parked for all intents and purposes, right? He's not parked driving, right?
No,
he's in the drive-thru, stopped.
No. And you pull him out the drive-thru and you know, I mean, literally, you know, you go to tase him because he's quote unquote resisting. My man snatches the taser because no one wants to get shocked, you know, and he runs and he's shot, like you said, shot in the back or whatever. So this is America, as the song would go. And you know, it's so many cases of folks being shot in the back, so many cases of people being murdered in their own homes. You know, the 92-year-old Kendrick Johnson. Just the other day, we were commemorating the cold-blooded murder of Oscar Grant.
Oh my God.
You know, who was murdered on New Year's of 2009. We also, one of my brothers from back home, Anthony Villanova, he was murdered New Year's Eve, 1996, 11:57 p.m. So he didn't even make it into New Year's. This is someone that I grew up with, who I'm talking about, with all due respect, Kim, if they said that you pulled the knife, because they said that he pulled the knife out on the police officers. If they said you pulled a knife out on him, even though I wouldn't believe that you did it, I would believe you did it before he did it. And I'm just saying that because of the fact that he was non-aggressive. You understand what I'm saying? Non-confrontational, just a good brother, someone that every time you see him, he's smiling. Never seen bully anyone, never seen him disrespect anyone, that type of thing. But they gunned him down and then falsely accused him. You know, but since there was no type of
body cam, you know,
you had to take that story. But you know, this is, again, it's so many different cases or whatever. And you know, we're hoping that folks listening and checking us out will be inspired to join in on efforts. If you can't get involved physically, you know, man, just support those who are out there. Support the workers. You know what I mean? Don't just let our folks, you know, let this genocide take place and we sit back and you know, and allow it. So, you know, and indeed.
And let me say this also, you know, for people that are involved in this work, you know, BPM is growing, you know, my channel's still very small, but we want to amplify these stories. Like, don't look at us as like little YouTube channels. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the mainstream outlets, if so-called traditional news outlets are either refusing to tell the story or telling the story from the propagandist perspective, please reach out to us. You know what I'm saying? We are going to let you come on these platforms and give the real accounting, give the real situation that's on the ground. So don't disregard independent media and little outlets like these, like the one, you know. And I don't even think BPM is little, to be quite honest. I think BPM is schmedium out here. It's getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? My joint is still little, but I say that to say, don't turn your back on us, because we're not turning our back on the situations, on the issues, the movements. We want to amplify these things. So please reach out to us. I mean, BPM has a Gmail. Mine is burn it down with KB at Gmail. Holla, come on.
Yeah.
We want to tell these stories.
Yeah, and follow us on Twitter. You know, we our joint is at Black Power Media.
One.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, you can find it. Whatever it is, Black Power Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just stay in tune, man. And you know, it was suggested that I start doing lives, you know, and reporting on the spot, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to get used to standing in front of this shit right here, because it's just like, to me, it's, you know, I salute folks like you and Jared, because, you know, just to sit there talking to yourself thing is kind of It's kind of different, but it works. It works.
Because you weren't the only child, man. That did a lot
Yeah.
talking about themselves.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. I was a child talking too damn much. So he's like, look, shut up, go in the room. My mother used to say, stop talking so much. You're going to make people hate you. And I told her, I said, you curse me.
No, Kalanji, do it your way, man. Be the reporter Kalanji's gonna be the give the commentary that Kalanji gives. Do you, bro? Fuck all that proper shit. You know what I'm saying? Do it your way.
Nah, but definitely I agree with you, Kim, though. Make sure that we support each other, because independent media is necessary. Mainstream media, they don't give a two jacks craps about us, because I mean, they're the media arm of the state, and we got to keep that in mind. Our efforts when we talk about Black Power media, it's not just a slogan. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted, because oftentimes folks hear the Black Power part. We know that Black Power, to a great extent, has become cliche, because oftentimes folks are yelling Black Power and are quite powerless. You know what I'm saying? But we are working towards achieving Black Power, and Black Power is about independence. It's about self-sufficiency, being staying on top of our game. It is the G code, as they would say. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you continue to support our efforts. We're not going to always do it the way you want it done, but at the same time, we're going to do it. You feel me?
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So anyway, what else we got popping? We're going to be going to a break in a second. I want to also point out real quick that we have a guest, and hopefully Kim will join us at 9 o'clock. We have the family of Kendrick Johnson will be joining us again, because they have it is the anniversary coming up, and they're going to talk to us about what's going on, some of the activities they have. If folks don't remember Kendrick Johnson, he was a brother who was found rolled up in a wrestling mat some years ago. There's a documentary out. Some of you are familiar. If not, we're going to give you a refresher at 9 a.m. Make sure you check that out. Do us a favor right now. Tweet this out to your people. Send it out. Let them know that Black Power Media is in the building. Remix Morning Show, we ain't playing. And we're going to keep giving it to you like you need it.
Here come the ear doctor. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Ear doctor in the building. I like that word, allegedly. Yo, so what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna take a quick break before we have our guests come through, and pretty much get into an artist spotlight. You know how we like to do. Give props to those that contributed to our culture, and let's do it right here on the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. Let's go.
Get it.
Yeah. Ooh, what is that right there in the background? Who is that playing right there? Oh my goodness. Y'all know what that is? In case y'all don't know, first, before I do get into that, make sure y'all hit that like button and share and notification bell and all that right there. What I was playing right there in the background was no other than woo, that's right. We're talking about Gangsta Boo. Gangsta Boo, in case you didn't know, she just made a transition the other day. Also known as Lola Chantrell Mitchell. Rapper. She was one of the members of the legendary group 3 6 Mafia, which came out, man, back in the mid 90s. So you're talking about she's been out here doing this since the mid 90s. She left the group, though, in around 2002 due to not getting her money right and not having proper promotion over her album. But she's been doing mixtapes, dropping albums. She actually did. She came back and did some songs with Eminem, Lotto, Glorilla, Run the Jewels, on some newer stuff. But she's looked at as the pioneer of Southern rap music. So she's been putting it down for a while. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, 1979. If you don't know about Gangsta Boo, you could check her out on her first album, which was Acquiring Minds, which came out in 1998. This song had This album had a song that was so hard, known as "Where Them Dollars At." That's right, "Where Them Dollars At" was one of her biggest songs. But like I said, she has 3 solo albums. Before I get to that, she made a transition home at her house, Memphis, January the 1st at the age of 43. Cause of her death is not known. But like I said, she has 3 solo albums. She has 6 albums with 3 6 Mafia, and she has about 5 mixtapes. So he has a lot of material out. In case you don't know, check out Gangsta Boo. You know how we do right here on the Remix Morning Show. So let's go ahead and get back to my crew right about here, right about now. Let's go.
Man, that's a tough one. That
43.
43 years old, and I hope it's not macabre to wonder like what actually killed her, because it's not normal for 43-year-old people to just be passing away like that. But Gangsta Boo, between Gangsta Boo and LaChat and Mia X, woo! I mean, the as much of a feminist voice that misogynistic rap is allowed to have, I would say that them sisters, particularly repping the South, did an amazing job of doing. And Boo, to be clear, when she was doing all that 3 6 Mafia, tear the club up and Who Run It, like she was like 17 years old. She was a kid.
Yeah.
She was a teenager out here killing it on the mic. And it's just I almost thought the internet was fucking around and just mistakenly killing people. I could not believe that news that Gangsta Boo had passed away. Just a shocker, a stunner.
She was definitely a legend in her field. I'm not gonna front. We didn't, where I was from, we weren't really into 3 6 Mafia and Gangsta Boo and all those folks. They just weren't on our radar like that. We knew who they were. I did have the opportunity to hang out with her at a Run the Jewels concert. Introduced to her by Killer Mike, who was backstage and everything. They actually did the song that they performed that song. This was maybe like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years ago, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she was a cool person. You know what I'm saying? From what I saw, and she definitely earned her stripes. We hate to see her go at such an early age, and it's a reminder for us to love each other. Again, I know that sounds cliche, but also make sure that we are on point in every kind of way, health wise. Make sure the lifestyles we're living coincide with life. And I'm not speculating because I don't know exactly what happened, but again, our condolences to her family and to her loved ones.
Yeah, we got to definitely make health and mental and physical health a trend. It has to be a trend, especially at our ages. The older we're getting, it's like it really needs to be a trend where it's like, yo, you working on yourself. That's dope. That's dope. Because right now we need it. We need to start really working on ourselves because we've been conditioned. So we need to get out of that conditioning.
Yeah, doctor, trying to fix that.
Go back and watch the verses between 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Gangsta Boo was on that. She performed. And that was and they got to fighting. They did get to fighting. They did get to fighting on that particular verses. I don't know. Boo might have been in there running her yam in that joint too. But it's entertaining to say.
She called. She's like, oh, he mad.
Was she calling out Busy Bone? Was that her? She was telling Busy Bone to go take his medication.
Yeah. That was her.
Speaking of Ohio, right? Yeah. So.
Word. That's what it is, and that is your artist spotlight for the day. I'll catch you on the next break. Peace.
Peace. Kalonji, it's so hard. Like, I mean, I'm sure every generation goes through this where, you have a spate of people, passing away early, maybe in middle age, not because of gun violence or anything like that. But it's like, it just puts your own mortality a little bit more into focus. Just the realization that, a good chunk of us are not going to live to see old age, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I say talk your shit now. Talk your shit right now. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. Talk your shit right now, because tomorrow is not promised. It is not guaranteed. Stand on, 10 toes down right now, everybody. Don't wait. Right now.
That you heard it from Kim. Burn it down. Kim Brown said, "Talk your shit right now,"
Right
and
now.
I concur. But yeah, indeed. I guess for me, just growing up where I did, inner city projects, so on and so forth. You know, that's always been the norm. It's always,
Yeah.
I knew young folks ODing.
Hmm.
A friend of mine OD'd in his mother's bathtub. He was in his 20s. She found him with a
Damn.
needle in his arm. All kinds of, quote unquote, uh, situations brought on by capitalism. So that's the nature of where we are. But we got to be in it, but not of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're here, we don't have to succumb to all the things that's going on around here. Now I do have, as I mentioned, I have a guest or two, some good friends of mine that and I say good friends based on the work, and their consistency. You know, um, it's one of my favorite families here in Georgia. You know, speaking of tomorrow not being promised, they lost their child. Their child went to school one day and never came home, and they've been fighting for his, for justice, for his name, and based on love. And they're a family that from day one when I first met them, they've been authentic and they're always authentic. And I encourage folks to, if you're not supporting this family, to get behind this family. And they have some things coming up. We're going to talk to them a little bit, and so stay tuned. We'll be right back with you with the Johnson family of Kendrick Johnson Remix Morning Show. Peace. What's going on, family? How y'all feeling?
Come on.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Good to
morning.
see. Good to see you. My man, Mr. J, froze over there. What? He look like he might be froze a little bit.
Yeah, he's in New Jersey, so he may be.
Okay. How you doing? How you been?
I'm here. I'm making it.
Okay. You knocked nobody out recently, have you?
No, not yet.
Okay, good. I like you saying not yet, just in case, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So for folks who are not familiar with you, if you don't mind giving them a brief introduction of who you are and why you here today. You know what I'm saying? We've been knowing you for quite a while. We know you've been consistent. So let the folks know who you are and what brought about this relationship here.
I'm Jacqueline Johnson. I'm the mother of Kendrick Johnson. My 17-year-old son was killed at his high school in Valdosta, Georgia. He was rolled up in the gym mad. They still they said it was positional asphyxiation, but we had our own pathologist do another autopsy and find out it was trauma to his neck. So we've been fighting for January the 10th to make 10 years fighting to get some justice or accountability held for my son.
Right on. So, I mean, again, I've been probably knowing you all for either 8 or 9 of those 10 years, I believe. And it's been, you've been up and down these streets, up and all throughout the country, seeking justice, and I mean, what has been the outcome so far? Has there been any any type of glimmer of hope, or what's been going on? What did the state say? What is their position right now?
The state is sticking to their story that he fell into a mat trying to retrieve a tennis shoe. There's always hope, because there's one thing about it: there's no statute of limitations on murder, and we all know that Kendrick was murdered. And one day, it's no such thing. To me, there's no such thing as justice. It'll be accountability, because justice means my child being here with me. So as we proceed to fight, we're just looking for somebody to be held accountable.
Right on. Right on.
Ms. Johnson, what's the status of the case? Is it still open, or has the state of Georgia closed it? And what was the determination that they gave? I guess, what is the case's current status?
Well, the case is closed at this point, and they said it was, well, the sheriff said it was to him just a weird accident. They went from a freak accident to a weird accident. So,
I mean, first of all, my deepest condolences still goes out to you, because I'm to hear that this has been 10 years. And Kendrick's case, unfortunately, continues to stand out because of the ridiculousness of what the police and investigators said. And like you said, that it was a freak accident. Well, who rolled him up in the gym mat? Who? There's so many unanswered questions. Have the police been able or even willing to try to provide some of those answers?
No, let them tell it. He had to roll himself up into the mat because he was so dumb. He climbed on the mat and fell in there, wiggled inside of a mat where it was 14 centimeters and his shoulders were 17 to 19 centimeters wide. So there's no way that he could have climbed in the mat. So he had to roll himself up into the mat and cut his fingernails while he was in the mat dying. So it just don't make no sense. And then for the lady that's supposed to done the autopsy, she said in her statement, she went off theory of what they said. You got a whole body in front of you, but you go off a theory of what Lowndes County Sheriff Department said. You're not doing your job.
Ms. Johnson, I want to because again, I'm familiar with the case, and I know I hate to even ask about it because of the fact that I know it has to be frustrating, and it has to be, it's like, okay, knowing that you've done so many interviews, knowing that there's documentaries and there's been protests and marches and absolute disrespect by Valdosta County and the state of Georgia. And when I say disrespect, I'm talking about literally, not just what you're talking about right here. For folks who are unfamiliar, please walk us back. He went to school one day, and he never returned home, and the next day. I mean, how did it come about, if you don't mind, just for folks, because we have new viewers who are unfamiliar with the case.
Kenneth said he got kicked out some kind of way, but my son went to school that Thursday and never returned that Friday. They didn't find him. He was at school. Y'all, it's just repeating it sometime. But they found him the next day, rolled up in the gym mat at his high school where there's 3,000 people, 3,000 students, plus faculty, staff, everybody. Nobody's seeing anything. Found him rolled up in the gym mat. They said it was positional asphyxiation. He had no bruises, but we all know that's a lie. He had no bruises, no nothing on him. So they just was saying that from day one, it was an accident.
Right.
Without the autopsy even coming back. Sheriff Chris Prine came on there and said it was an accident.
Right. And that was, like you said, he stated that before the autopsy. The sheriff stated this before any medical personnel. That's the wild thing about it. Now, in regards to the camera, because we know they had cameras, what did the camera show?
The cameras only showed Kendrick walking into the gym, and it showed him. They supposedly have torn up until they got him, show him going out on the gurney.
Right. So the cameras just mysteriously stopped working once he went inside. So the whole time that he fell into this wrestling mat, this wrestling mat with that is mathematically impossible for him to fall into, upside down to retrieve a shoe that fell inside the wrestling mat, or that they claim that he hid under the wrestling mat, which sounds so damn ridiculous that I mean, it's just so unbelievable. Then you go to check out the cameras, and the cameras it mysteriously stop working, until they're taking them out on the gurney.
Miss Johnson, I mean, obviously, a lot of this is a cover up. Like, there's no question about this, because it sounds as though lots of evidence, potential evidence, was manipulated, was tampered with. You said the cameras mysteriously stopped working. You said your son's fingernails were cut, which we know a lot of that is a way for potential DNA or forensic evidence to be collected. When somebody is being attacked, sometimes they will get the DNA of their attacker underneath their fingernails. And you say your son's fingernails were cut. Obviously, this looks and smells very much like a cover up. And I guess, without mentioning names, who do you think might have had a motive to do your son harm? Or do you think that somebody is obviously being protected for murdering Kendrick?
I feel like some bodies are being protected because of who they are, because they know exactly what happened to Kendrick. They saw it on that camera, so they know who did it. They know who all was involved. They just don't want to do nothing because who the perpetrators are.
Right. Now, if I know that you might not be at liberty of saying it, but if you don't mind me, I will. Because it's been alleged that a couple of the suspects are children of an FBI agent, right? And they've gone as far as to sue the Johnson family for their statements. So to my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the Johnson family now, quote unquote, owes over $250,000 as victims. Is that correct?
Yes.
So this is the love and the disrespect that's been shown to this family. So not only have you lost your child, these bastards decide that they're going to sue you. And in that particular county where she is, you have to understand, we're in Atlanta. You all are in Valdosta. That's like what, 5.5 hours, I believe, from Atlanta.
3.5.
3.5. Okay, well, I drive slow because I know dealing with them white folks out there is different. But anyway, but yeah. So I mean, this is when you talk about Georgia and you talk about America and what they cannot do. You send your child to school where you think is safe, just like the elders who went to the supermarket up in Buffalo where they think is safe, and they don't make it home. I understand from previous interviews, you all were waiting for him to come home because he's not the type of child that would just stay out all night and not do what he's supposed to do. And later on, I believe you found out when you got back to the school or something that
no, he know I was the type of mama that didn't play him staying out all night. That being that child, he know I was the type of mama I didn't play. It was a school night, to have your butt in the house. And I knew when he didn't come home that something was definitely wrong. So it was just like a waiting game. Like, even though, you can feel it in your heart when something really done happen. And the way went to the school the next morning, I was sitting there 8 o'clock that morning. As soon as I got there, one of the resource officers was like, well, we done been looking for Kendrick. He didn't come to school and he's not in class. So you can go on back home. If anything comes up, we'll find you. Go back home. Yeah, that's just how he was. Going on back home? Like, no. So I went, excuse me, and talked to the guidance counselor. And we was talking about my daughter because she needed to pass one of those tests that, even though she had finished school, she had to pass a test that needed to be in order for her to graduate. So me and her was talking, and I asked her, I said, well, did you know that Kendrick was missing? And she was like, no. So she automatically went to calling kids out of class and asking them when they was the last time they seen Kendrick. Some said 3rd block, some said 4th block. So it was just like, a waiting game. So I'm sitting in her office and her phone rings, and you know how a telephone can be up so loud, you can hear what the other party's saying. I can hear a man saying that we found the body in the gym. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. I was just stuck there. And she would just start at that point nodding her head and But I can still hear she not knowing I can hear the other party on the phone. So I'm just sitting there like, Lord, this really my child. So I'm looking at her. So in a few minutes, a group of ladies came in, and she got up and went out the office, left me sitting there still and say not one word, left me sitting there. And she went out the office and was talking to them, and they all looking in there at me, and I'm just still sitting there like, so you're not gonna say nothing. So in a few minutes, my friend came to get my grandbabies from pick my grandbabies out there because she had found out what was going on. So she came back in there. Well, you want me to take the baby downstairs? I was like, because he don't know you. So I get up walking downstairs. Everybody is walking behind me like, okay, I done heard what this lady said. They don't know I done heard what was said on the phone, but everybody's just like walking behind me in a group. So I go straight directly to the sheriff resource officer. That's a black lady that's out there. And I asked her, I said, was that my son they just found in the gym? So she asked me where my daughter was, and my daughter was walking back up to me at that point. And I asked again, was that my son? And she was like, yes, that was nodded, yes. And that's how I found out that was my son. My son was dead. That's how. Nobody came and told me that this was Kendrick Johnson. I asked myself. I had to ask a resource officer that's at the school with all about 5-10 white women trailing behind me. So at this point, they're in the gym tampering with Kendrick's body now at this point. Because you got some phone calls, some tweets on Twitter. At 7 o'clock, they found the body in the gym. Some at 9 o'clock, they found the body in the gym. So how at 10 something, the superintendent's daughter, West Taylor, at that time, West Taylor, his two daughters allegedly found Kendrick. Now, they don't even supposed to be on that side of the school. So how did they, both of them, from two different wings, find Kendrick in the gym? One person, the person that went up and did the interview, she said feet were sticking outside of the mat. But then when it came for the superintendent's daughters to write statements or whatever, they said that they looked down in the mat and seen feet. Like, who gonna, it's so much. One person, you can't see feet sticking up, and then the next people that come that's supposed to find him seeing feet in, you got to look down in the mat to find the feet. Come on. Like, it's been lies since Kendrick.
Right.
Day one.
I've been hearing the story for years. I've seen the pictures. We've been on protests with you all. We've been on press conferences and all that type of stuff. And every single time I hear this, it hurts my soul because, for all types of reasons. First of all, just getting to know y'all good people. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? Y'all real people. It's not a made up joint. You're not looking to be famous because of your child or nothing like that. You want those responsible to be held. You all had to exhume him. You know what I'm saying? To have your own autopsy. That was pain over again, I'm sure. How can, man, first of all, again, as I say always, man, and not that it means anything coming from you, man, but I respect your strength. You know what I'm saying? I respect the fact that you've been able to carry on. And I know that, just from being around, I know you've had people come and go. You know what I'm saying? When the case is popular or something's going on, then everybody's front and center. I got video footage of all types of people, you know, some who were there for the money. I ain't got to name no names, but
yeah,
you know, you had, I mean, the Crumpster, everybody. You know what I'm saying? But when they don't see the dollars, it don't make sense.
right.
You know what I mean? You all have some things going on. This is 10-year commemoration of the murder of Kendrick Johnson, because that's what we're gonna call it. It's not, you know, you can't. How the fuck you gonna tell me that the superintendent's daughters finds this body?
Right.
That don't even sound. That sounds worse than a Hollywood movie. It sounds ridiculous. If Kendrick Johnson name was Leor Robenstein, then it wouldn't. Justice would have been had already. In fact, it wouldn't even have to be a black student going to that school. They'd have found somebody black ass on the street and made sure that he was at the school. What's going on this weekend, and how can folks support you going forward?
We're this will be Kendrick's 10th, I say, anniversary. We're doing on the 6th, we're doing a sibling grief panel, and we're watching the documentary of Finding Kendrick Johnson to just remind the people of what happened to Kendrick. Don't go to sleep when you some woke up when the documentary came out, but it's like they don't feel back asleep. So we want to wake the people back up. Like when you start falling asleep, put that documentary in and watch that documentary. It's time to wake up and stay woke.
Tell us the name of that documentary too again.
It's called Finding Kendrick Johnson, and it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Hulu. It's on Video Prime, and it's on It was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on there.
Right. And
Miss Johnson, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have first. I can only imagine what this has been like for you for the past 10 years, and on top of not having Kendrick here, what's it been like to remain in the community of Valdosta when clearly there was a collusion to deny you and everyone who loved Kendrick the knowledge about what actually happened to him? I mean, from the school personnel to the sheriffs to the medical examiner, coroner. I mean, this was the system colluding to keep Kendrick's killers protected and to deny you and those who loved him the knowledge about who actually did this to your boy. What's it been like to still live there and to know that there are all these snakes basically that have meant you and your family harm, and that is still working to protect the killers of Kendrick?
First of all, this is a city that protects killers. It always has been. In this city, there's never been a white person convicted of killing a black person. Know that. Never. But as for me, it just turned my heart real cold to see how cold-hearted people are and can be. A 17-year-old child that was going to school got killed at that school, and just about every person in this town want to be silent. I'm talking about the people that supports Kendrick are people from out of town. The people here is just like, it ain't, some of them, it wasn't my child, so I don't care. But you have seen so many that have came behind me that children have got killed. But it's black on black. Of course, they're going to lock them up. But when the perpetrators are allegedly white, you got to fight. And then they allegedly FBI agents' children, you got to fight every police department, the FBI, the GB, because they go around in the circle, they stick together. The DA, all of them, they stick together. But I'm sticking to fight for justice for Kendrick Johnson because that's my child. And if I don't fight, who gonna fight? If I don't speak up, who gonna speak up? If I don't get up, who gonna get up for Kendrick besides his daddy? Right. So I'm the mother Like I always tell them, y'all killed the wrong child, but y'all got the right mother. Because you don't scare me, for one. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to keep on letting y'all know it's accountability for Kendrick Johnson. Not even justice, accountability. Yeah. People take the money and run. I want somebody prosecuted for killing Kendrick Johnson. My child was going to school where it should have been one of the safest places. And he ended up dead at the school. And you mean to tell me nobody don't see, nobody don't care? They kept playing football. They kept running the school. The day while I was out there, they did not never lock that school down. Kids were trampling over me while they had put me in a wheelchair, changing classes. They didn't care then and they don't care now. But his mama still care.
And they protested you all.
Always care.
Yeah. And they protested you all. They tried to demonize your family and to make you all look like something was wrong with you because you fighting for your child. You all got to understand, because I think when folks think of Georgia, they think of Atlanta, and it's this facade that it's the black Mecca and that black folks in Georgia that it's all good, but that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Part of my English, but that's exactly what it is. I mean,
right.
Valdosta is known for onions, right? The Valdosta onion. That's supposed to be the onion capital over there. But your tears, that ain't what make your eyes water out that mother. You know what I'm saying? And then this right here is a I love seeing y'all, but like I said, every time it's a heartbreaking thing. We were trying to get Mr. Johnson on. I see for some reason, I don't know if it's where he's at. His device kept freezing and dropping. So definitely let him know. We weren't trying to slight him. That's my man. And we love y'all. I want to issue a challenge to folks in Atlanta. And I want to say that make tracks to Valdosta this weekend. I want to challenge some of our listeners to sponsor some vans or some buses so that we can go out there in droves. We need to go out and support this family. It's been 10 years, and there's been no justice. There's been no reciprocity. All it's been is disrespect and disregard. So we definitely appreciate you coming on. Again, I hate to ask you certain questions, but I want our people to know. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate, whenever I do call on you all or whenever I see you, it's the same thing. It ain't no, because I deal with a whole lot of people and some folks, like I said, when that money changed things.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know too. And I'm just keeping it 100. And I'm sorry, because some of these folks probably listening, but I don't really care. It's like you cannot replace your child or your loved one with a check. No. That's not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Folks like Ben Crump should be ashamed of themselves because of the fact that they'll stand with you when it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? When the media is there. But when a lights, camera, action is gone, ain't nothing happening. I'm glad that you all were able to get the documentary produced because of the fact that helped to to put you a little bit put it out there a little bit more. We will attempt to do some type of showing. Maybe we can get with the producers or whatever, and at a later date, maybe do some type of showing to benefit what you all have. And anything else you want to say before you leave us today?
I was finished telling about the events. On the 7th, we'll be doing a marching rally that morning, and on that evening, we'll be doing his gala at 6 p.m. And on the 8th, we'll be having brunch because a lot of the families will be going back home. The 9th, we'll be doing Internet Day. We'll be talking about Kendrick, posting about Kendrick all day long. And the 10th, that's that Tuesday. That's his actual day he got killed. And we'll be celebrating him all day long. And we'll be doing a balloon release at 4 p.m.
No doubt. Well, keep me posted, Ivor. We can support you over here at BPM. We got you. And, love to you, Mr. Johnson, and the whole family. And, I see y'all this weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right. Love y'all. Be safe. Talk to you soon. All right. Checking out the Remix Morning Show. That was the Johnson family, the mother and father of Kendrick Johnson. Mr. Johnson was having some difficulties coming on. This is Kendrick Johnson right here. This is the 17-year-old who went to school to quote unquote just get an education, as they say. They say, you know, all you got to do is just, you know, go to school and you can, you know, pull your pants up and you could be somebody. But we see that that's not always the case. So check out the documentary Finding Kendrick Johnson. And for those who are in Atlanta that's up for the challenge, hit us up and let us know when you you know, what you want to do to sponsor a van or a bus or something, because part of what we're doing here at Black Power Media, we're not going to do all the work for us. This is a collective effort. So we need all hands on deck. We need everyone to get behind situations like this. But anyway,
where can we send support if we want to sponsor a bus or a van?
I would say for now, since we don't have anything set up, I would say send it to our Cash App, which is I believe it's $ Black Power Media. I think the ear doctor can double check on that before we get off, and just earmark it Kendrick Johnson van, or earmark van. And you know, if we can make that happen, then we'll make it happen. So but yeah, Black Power Media, and you know, if you can put van in the line or whatever, you know, we'll make sure that you know, if we're able to make that happen, we'll make it happen. If not, whatever will go towards the family. We appreciate you all checking us out. We'll go to this quick break. The Air Doctor, checking out the Remix Morning Show.
Let's get to it right here, right now. Remix Morning Show on our first break. Let's go.
I can walk on air, I can walk on fire. I'll do anything to get you, baby.
All right, welcome out everybody to the Remix Morning Show. We need a break right now. That was a lot. Please make sure y'all support the family and do what you can. With that said, we're gonna go ahead. As you just heard, the music being played under that picture, that was no other than who I'm going to talk about next. He goes by the name of Anthony David. Anthony David. That's right. In case you don't know, this is Anthony David. Now, Anthony David, who is also known as Anthony David Harrington, is an R&B singer and songwriter. He's best known for his song Words that came out in 2006, which was a duet with India Arie. Now, I got to see Anthony Davis come up here in Atlanta. He's originally from Savannah, but he made his come up on the Atlanta scene. I used to see him all the time, him and India Arie at Yin Yang Cafe, pretty much known musical cafe here in Atlanta, where they will always be performing and putting it down with the guitar and the whole soulful atmosphere. His first album he actually dropped was in 2004, but he started off by writing for India Arie's album, a song called Part of My Life, which was a 7-time Grammy nominated album, Acoustic Soul. But as I said, he actually was able to drop over 5 albums. After 5 albums, he has a style similar, if you would say, to Bill Withers. He's able to drop 5 albums, has some singles. His last album he did a very dope song called Forevermore with a singer called Algebra and Fonte from Little Brother. So if you haven't checked this brother out, please go check him out. Has some very soulful, good music. That's right, Anthony David, y'all. So that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew. Now we do.
Cold turkey, can't expect me to quit, do you, baby? Cold turkey, feelings don't go away so easy. Just a little.
All right. That was a lot, y'all. I mean, wow.
Yeah. Shoot, if it's a lot for us, imagine what it's been for them, fam.
It's been like for them, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, it was and I appreciate you riding shotgun with me, Kim, on that, because you know, there was a few times I needed to pause, because again, I've been hearing this story at least 8-9 of those years, and you know, just I've witnessed things, and there's certain things that they can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? because these folks they made efforts to apply full court pressure on them. And like I said, for you to have lost your child, and then these folks are demanding you pay in upwards of $300,000 for speaking out against the situation. The whole deck was stacked. This story, you're hearing daughters of the superintendent, you're hearing children of the FBI agent, and just so many different things that have gone on. And it's been a long fight for this family. So like I said, if folks are able to make it out there, then do so or support their efforts. But definitely check out the film, the documentary, Finding Kendrick Johnson, and his name happens to be Kendrick Lamar Johnson. Wow. So it would be good if the Kendrick Lamar that we know would get behind this particular situation.
Get behind it, pay off the judgment for the family. I mean, I can't stand these fake revolutionary fucking black celebrities that is sit there on piles of money, will get on social media and show all the tens of thousands and all the fucking luxurious bullshit that they spent. Help this goddamn family. Sorry, not to cuss like that, but help these people. Like, out of all these stories, Kalonji, I'm telling you, like Kendrick's, that story is so painful because you just see the collusion of fuckery that the community of white supremacy came together and formed like Voltron to stand against this family. And just for them to put out these ridiculous conclusions, oh, he must have fell down the bleachers and somehow he cut his own nails and he rolled himself up in the mat. What the fuck we look like? Idiots?
I mean, there's pictures of him upside down in the mat. So it's not, and then on top of that, his face, because there's pictures of his face. There were organs missing when they exhumed his body. His body was stuffed with newspaper. There's all types of craziness that went on. We didn't even get all in depth because of the fact that the difficult thing for us, for the people out there, in talking to victims' family members, it is a sensitive situation, so we have to be sensitive as well. We're not doing this for likes. We're not doing this for you to say good job. You understand what I'm saying? We're doing it in hopes that you can get behind our people, because this is real life. We talk about what went on in the past, but this is someone's child. Again, we showed you earlier the 13-year-old who was gunned down in Ohio. Kendrick went to school. You know what I'm saying? I've been around his loved ones, his grandmother, his mother, his father, his sister, and they are a tight-knit family. You know what I'm saying? And it's love. And to see that these people do them like that, it's criminal on so many levels. On so many levels.
And it's so obvious, again, without knowing the details. I don't know the name of the children or the FBI agent, whatever, but it's very clear that privilege connected white folks did this, because if a black child had killed Kendrick, they would have been taken out of the school in handcuffs same day. They would have looked at the evidence. They would have said, oh, Leroy did it, and they would have locked Leroy ass up right then and there. You understand? Right. So it's very clear who did this, or the kind of privileged space that the killers can't come out of, because a regular person, a regular black child, would not get this level of protection of the system uniting to protect this person, or people, from being held criminally responsible for the murder of the 17-year-old.
This is Emmett Till all over again.
All over.
But not only that, you look at how she found out about her child's death.
Oh my God.
You talking about a nightmare? I mean, it's like you don't wish that on anyone. It's like you're literally sitting there and all of this is going around you. And these people, I mean, it sounds like a bad movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're walking down the hall and people walking behind you. Everybody knows what's going on but you. And they're waiting to see your reaction.
Oh my God.
They're waiting to see it because that's ultimately what it was. They're waiting to see your reaction. What is she gonna do? Oh man, she's gonna, you know what I'm saying? But this is what America does to you. This is what capitalism does to you. They make you feel like you're a part of something, and then they rip your soul right out of your body. They will rip your soul. They will steal your spirit. In this case, again, I implore you all to check out this story if you haven't already, because we really, to be honest with you, in the 20 minutes that we just had, we didn't really touch on it. We didn't really go as deep as it is. But again, love and respect to the Johnson family, and you know, man.
Burn it down. Burn it to the ground. Burn down the entire system. Burn it all. Burn it all. Because there is nothing about America and its institutions that are worth, for Black people especially, to try to be upholding. When I see dumbass Black liberals on TV talking about we need to uphold democracy, bitch, for who? Whose democracy are we trying to uphold? It ain't ours. It was never ours. Our freedom has not been ours.
Right. And this is why, like I said, man, you know, folks wonder why we quote unquote go so hard. You know, and they're like, oh, you ain't have to say that, or you don't have to call this person out, whatever, so on and so forth. Man, listen, man. In the mortal words of Pac, if you could walk a mile in my shoes, and you'd be crazy too. You know what I'm saying? This is the reality of this life. You know, and we live in the state of Georgia. You know, and like I said, man, you know, it's America. It is a reflection of the United States. But anyway, I'm so off balance. I was about to go to another break, but I forgot.
No, it's all good. I appreciate that interview, and I appreciate y'all for being there to interview them, and I appreciate all our remixers for being around to take notice of this. And I'll catch y'all later.
Thank you.
Yes. Man, listen, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go to any more stories, man. I don't know if
I don't know either, man. I'm trying to think of something lighthearted, and I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a big blank.
Because I have some stories, but nothing is happy. So I just don't even want to.
I know, and that's the hard thing, y'all. Do us a favor. I mean, shit. In addition to, you know, bringing issues and stories to our attention, share some good news. Did your baby do good on the midterms? Can you can you send that to us? Like, I mean, we need some upliftment, because, dog, like, again, most of the stories that I see, and I'll be looking for good news. I really do, but it's sparse out here, Kalanji. I mean, damn, even the tiny good news. For example, Ear Doctor brought us the weather report at the top of the hour. You know, that's low key, that's bad news, dog. because it's not supposed to be 60 and 70 and 80 degrees on January the 3rd. Like, Europe right now is experiencing unprecedented temperatures right now. And why is that? Because the earth is clapping back at us. But not us. We didn't do the shit. Capitalism did the shit.
Right.
And it's bad.
Yeah, and it's necessary. You know, it's necessary. You know, and you know, again, man, we have to. We can't move as individuals. We cannot move as individuals. I cannot stress it enough. I know. Sometimes, man, it sounds easier than it is. It is. When you're a part of an organization, you're a part of a serious organization. You know, there's going to be struggles. You know what I'm saying? For clarity, I represent the FTP movement. We're going on 20 years, right? We'll be 20 years next year. This is going to be our 19th year into existence. In existence, we fought on so many different fronts. This right here, the only reason that I'm on platforms like this right here, for me, is about organization. That's why I'm here. So even when we're joking, we're doing renegade culture and all other stuff, you know, the morning show, we try to have fun and all of that, but it is about organization. I'm not here to be liked. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to get any accolades and you tell me I did a great job, but then I still got to go out here and suffer, because in order to be an organizer, it's a discipline, but it's painful. Because truth be told, I know a whole lot of Kendrick Johnsons.
Mm-hmm.
I've I'm in the streets, I go to different places or whatever, and folks walk up to me like, "You don't remember me, do you?" Now I try to play it off because I want, I mean, since you got a smile on your face, shit. Oh yeah, well, what's up? I'm such and such mother. Who's that? Psst, damn, that was in 2006. You know what I'm saying? This was in 2000. There's never been a year that we weren't involved on multiple fronts around the country. You know what I mean? And a lot of folks, to be honest with you, as far as with our organization, because of the fact that we believe in direct confrontation, and we believe in getting our hands dirty, and we believe in changing things, not just with our mouths but with our hands, and we're not reporting every move that we make. A lot of folks try to overlook us. You know what I'm saying? But we are proactive. And when I say proactive, not just in theory, but practice. We're training folks in urban survival preparedness. My partner Balogun, the warrior class, African martial arts. We have a few different fighting systems, 52 blocks, our other brother, feed the people situations. We have a brother that's a former combat medic with 26 years, I believe, experience dealing with trauma and in actual combat, teaching our people how to become immediate responders, not first responders. You understand what I'm saying? We have all types of different programs, but the thing is, again, because we don't speak the way folks want us to speak, and we don't compromise our position. Our motto is we accept the concessions, but we won't compromise our position. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about Black power, that's what we mean. It don't mean that we're against anything, but it means that we love ourselves. And this was before a Black Lives Matter. We've been knew that Black lives didn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? So we had to wait for other folks. But
wow. So Black Lives Matter, the global network, whatever the fuck, ain't jumped in to run that 250K, 300K to pay that judgment for the Johnsons.
Listen, man, I don't at this stage in the game, I don't even it's gonna take us. I thought
it was us, Kalonji. That's not us. Yeah. That's not us. That's not us out there with a $6 million mansion for
it damn sure ain't me.
Creators and shit.
I don't know. Where I'm at ain't $6 million, so perhaps, perhaps y'all getting it a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Audacity, dog. Just the audacity. Yeah. Just people just playing in our face, flashing in our face.
Because we allow it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the that's where it's at. But on the flip side, I'm gonna also say that we should be cautious and careful at blaming ourselves. Because I think in saying that, I read in the chat, someone said something about Georgia needs to be organized. There's a whole lot of organizations that was fighting on behalf of this brother.
Yeah,
we lack organization as a whole. Not any particular city, not any particular state. There's no utopia for Black folks in America. Now there are some enclaves where folks have their communities and whatnot, and their municipalities, and we all for that. But overall, there's no super organization. We could front. We can act like we have the top billing organization and all that. We can shout it out and scream it from the mountaintops. But there's no reciprocity.
It always seems to be like ego gets in the way of being able to come together as a whole. Always.
Of course.
Hey, here, Doctor, can you pop up V's comment on the screen? Because V asked a question.
Oh, V asked a question.
And but she's a member, so it should be like right. You see the green thing at the top of the chat.
No, I don't.
Those buttons. He's trying to tell you.
As I said before, it's a lot of buttons.
Well, basically, V says, BPM, do you have a list of local reliable organizations for people to join? And I think that's that could be useful. I'm not aware that we have one, but maybe to create one would be useful. You know what I'm saying? Like who?
Yeah, I think it would be dope to have a spotlight on different organizations that's doing something, so people could be more aware.
But people
So
need to
we
know state to
definitely.
state, like where they are. And V, I think you even joining us from the UK. You know, we had the Brubs on a couple weeks ago from the Harambe organization from oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, with Dr. Andrews and the other two cats that joined us. But I know because V's in the UK. But I mean, state to state, I think we should have a list. I don't know, like a guide, a directory.
Yeah. And we've had that in the past, and
Mhm.
not as far as BPM, but yeah, we will work on that. And we have folks who are organizing all over the planet. So we do know some folks out in the UK that are really getting it in as well. I will take on that task because I think that it needs to be fair, and we could take it on. But I'm just saying, we want to highlight. Oftentimes, the most thorough organizations are unknown. They're not in the spotlight as much. They don't have a whole bunch of videos and pictures and all that type stuff. You know, back in the day, we used to take a lot of pictures and do the videos because we wanted to inspire folks to get involved. You know what I'm saying? But then it became trendy with a lot of organizations. It's like, look at us, look at what we're doing, so on and so forth.
But that's not a bad thing, Kalanji. I don't think that's a bad thing.
That's like
Because
BPM.
I mean, if you don't toot your own horn, who going to toot it? You know what I'm saying? If you don't tell the people what you out here doing, how are they supposed to know?
No, and I mean beyond that, there's ways, but the action, like UEP Newton said, he said, a picture's worth 1,000 words. He said, I could talk all day. Don't watch what I say, watch what I do. Action is supreme. That's what it's all about. So it's not just about taking pictures with this person or taking pictures out in the middle of the joint every time. Sometimes it's just about doing the work and talking about the work itself. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on it, boom, we have this going on over here. Join the program. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of folks, it's really about funding. It's really about, look at us, watch this. We're going to do this dog and pony trick, and that's going to be it. You know what I mean? But we don't have to document everything. Some things we can keep to our heart, and the people that matter will know. You know what I'm saying? We don't always, if you're being serviced, you don't always want to be in a picture because somebody gave you a piece of bread.
Yeah.
You don't want to demoralize the people either. So it's a thin line. So again, I'm all for documentation. We document. We have a documentary. Organizing is the new cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying we can't be like some of these other organizations who are strictly doing it for the sake of, like you said, getting their horn tooted. You understand what I'm saying? So,
and a lot of them get compromised when that checkbook come out. So it's like, even when we talking about how Black Power Media could be, I mean, the realness that we giving, how big will we get? You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people that have that realness and they bring it to them, they're not gonna get to shine like a commercial rapper. They're gonna be the underground rappers. We the underground rappers.
But I have faith though in us, and I hear, my brothers and sisters, they often talk about just what you said in regards to how big we're gonna get. Man, listen, we're at such an advantage. I come from an era of passing out flyers. You know what I'm saying? I come from an era, I was taught as a young organizer, one thing that my OGs used to do, whenever they saw me, the first thing they asked me is, what kind of propaganda you got on you? What you got? What you giving out to the people? That's all they want to know, because you're an organizer. So if you're an organizer, you should always have your tools on you, right?
Yeah.
If you're a mechanic, you can't say, I'm an auto mechanic, but I don't have no tools. I mean, what good are you? You know what I'm saying? I'm a chef, but I don't work in the kitchen, or I don't cook. You at the restaurants all the time. So propaganda is important. So to see the fact that we can come on here, and I'm looking at this thing right now, and it's 235 people viewing. That's a blessing.
Oh, definitely.
But the thing is, once we organize, because there's a difference between organizing and mobilizing, and once we move beyond being a show, because there's some people that's just watching us, and that's cool, and we appreciate you watching us. But the ultimate goal is to have you engage and to become active in our people's liberation movement. Imagine if these 236 people that's watching right now reached out to 10 other people and said, yo, we need to support this platform right here. And then they reach out to 10 people and say, hey, man, they got this joint. You hip the Black Power Media? You know what I'm saying? Let's get behind that. That's how it's going to grow. We would never have commercial success because we're anti-commercial.
Yeah.
Isn't that
That's
what
not
Dr.
the goal.
Jerry Ball said? Isn't that what Dr. Jerry Ball said?
You said that at the beginning.
He said, well, I'm paraphrasing here, Jared, my bad, but like, you know, ain't no mainstream revolutionaries. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
like,
nah.
ain't no revolutionary talk show out here on ABC or anything or CNN or nothing like that. Like, no, I do not have those kinds of expectations for us simply because of the kind of content that we create. And I even believe that YouTube is definitely potentially, I don't know the ins and outs of what have yous about what's going on this channel, but I know for other channels that identify in this political vein, YouTube stifles that shit, like buries it in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's pretty remarkable that this channel has gotten over 20,000 subscribers in about a year and some change. Like, because I understand this kind of content is not what YouTube is trying to amplify, right? So I don't know how many new people that YouTube specifically is running in our direction, but like you said, Kalanji, for our dedicated people to keep spreading the word, that's how people are coming to discover Black Power Media, not because YouTube is out here amplifying us in any meaningful way.
And also, I will take the pledge to 2023 that Black Power Media will be out in the street a lot more this year. A lot more getting out and doing some events, community things. That is a goal also this year. So
wow, we're gonna get like BPM banners. Is this gonna be like street team guerrilla marketing? We're gonna be like that again?
Yeah,
that's what it has to be. Get these vans wrapped in the whole nine and show up in different cities. And speaking of that, you know, it's all about a question of power. And I found this particular article right here, and I just want to run through this real quick because it says that Israel ranks amongst the 10 most powerful countries in annual lists. They said it's the 4th strongest military, and this is according to U.S. News and World Report. And they say that the Israeli military is behind only to the U.S., China, and Russia. And it says this country is the world's 6th most politically influential and 10th strongest power. Okay, so here it is. When you talk about how they came into quote unquote power, the organization, you know, literally for all practical purposes, taking other people's shit. You know what I'm saying? Moving folks off the map and the like. And then whenever you speak out against them or you say anything where you disagree with them, then the first thing they want to do is silence you. You know, but here it is, this small country, yet so powerful, partially due to sponsorship, you know, by the US and others. You know, so when we talk about this situation, indeed, Free Palestine, when we talk about power, unification is key to it. The unfortunate thing is we have perceived power, and getting back to the whole organization thing, we have all of these different organizations, but it's about coalitions and building beyond coalitions. You know what I'm saying? So until we have a serious united front that is proactive and uncompromised, then we will have issues. Yeah, and I did get that that article did come from the Times of Israel, and it was actually quoting U.S. News and World Report. And again, of course, it's propaganda. Of course, it's propaganda. But at the same time, we know that they're very vocal and very influential on this planet. So it has to come a time when we decide that we as Africans can be a superpower.
Absolutely. Quaker Anarchist ran us a message and says, Kim, can you, what did I say? Can you assist BPM to allow membership gifts on YouTube? Does it just require turning on that option? Quaker, you are so adorable in thinking that I know how anything works. That's so nice of you, Quaker. Thank you for thinking so highly of me that I know how things work on this platform. I do not know. And I know what you're talking about because, yeah, people have gifted YouTube memberships to my channel. Now, don't ask me how they did it, baby girl, because I'm not aware. But I'm sure BPM being a bigger channel has unlocked a lot of options. Like, yeah, so y'all probably got a lot of stuff that this channel has the ability and function to do because of the subscriber numbers. So maybe look into that, guys.
Yeah,
Sure
we'll look into it.
Yeah,
but definitely shout out to Quaker Anna because we see your support regularly. There are a few of you that are in the chat. We see you retweeting our unofficial virtual street team. Always supporting and always cheering us on and whatnot.
Yes.
We're absolutely grateful. We don't always get to answer all the messages and the tweets and all that, but we acknowledge all of you good folks that is doing what you're doing. V, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, you said we a bunch of old heads. I think that you better get your pronouns right. Shout out to my man Minister Server in the chat.
I'm a bigger old head, man. I'm here to rep for the young heads that didn't get a chance to be old heads. So I love old. Call me old. Call me all the old because I'm here to be old for everybody that didn't get a chance to be old.
Right? We made it. We need to brag. We done made it to a nice level.
Down,
and looking good still.
Knock on that wood, though, my guy. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
They old. I'm vintage fresh. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
with the
fly like a helicopter. Yo, Ear Doctor tried to play me earlier talking about that helmet thing. He think he got away with it, but he didn't. You even know how I do. I don't even know why you trying me like that.
Hey, so let's take it out on a good note, y'all. This is Black Power Media Remix Morning Show. We gonna catch y'all tomorrow at 8 a.m. Make sure
look
y'all
out for that new photo of the Ear Doctor that'll be coming soon. Just know that.
Let's go.
We believe in the truth that is in the Bible.
We out
We
here.
don't believe in the lies that the white man has put in the Bible. We believe in Allah's prophets, and we believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the truth that is in the Bible, but we don't believe in the lies that the white man has put in the Bible. We believe in Allah's prophets and the scriptures they brought to me. We believe in the resurrection of the dead, not in the physical resurrection, but in mental resurrection. We believe that the so-called Negroes are most in need of mental resurrection. Therefore, they will be resurrected first. We believe in the resurrection of the dead, but not when you physically dead. When you stop breathing and your heart stops beating, and that means that you in the ground, that's all zero. You are not going anywhere. Your soul isn't going anywhere. Your body isn't going anywhere.
And we out of here, y'all. Catch y'all tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. right here, the Remix Morning Show. Peace.